comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Jeez, what a mess. What to do, what to do, what to do. Oh. Here you go. Classic. I know. Nah. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. Oh, huh. Why not? Such a great movie. So perfect.
Mark, it's time to review the remake!
No, I don't want to.
You have to.
I don't want it.
You'll get what you deserve, critic!
I don't.
You will!
No.
Come on, critic! Make up your mind!
Fine. Fine. Just fine. Fine. Oh my God. Fine. Stupid remix.
Cause you frickin' fricks just can't ever be quenched. Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they? You frickin' fricks! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Ah, Disney, the studio me and millions of people grew up loving. The studio that took classic stories and either put a twist on them or made up something new and original with them is now so out of ideas that they have to remake their old films. This studio is without a doubt the biggest studio of all time. What is the most successful film of all time? Avengers Endgame, made by Disney. They also own possibly the most iconic film franchise of all time, Star Wars. They even own X-Men, which yes, I do plan on reviewing that last movie. I still have nightmares of.
That's right. That would be a bad idea.
Why would Disney even try to make original films? Well, I do enjoy Marvel films and Pixar films, and I've enjoyed the new Star Wars films for the most part. These live-action films are possibly the most lazy and soulless pieces of film ever made. In fact, I'm just going to go through each one I've actually seen that was released recently. Maleficent. I'm not much of a fan of this film. I like how it goes in a new and interesting direction, and it has some good performances. It just feels really desperate and unnecessary. Like, who asked for one of the most terrifying and evil Disney villains to not be a terrifying and evil Disney villain? It's just kind of bland and boring. Hey, what if they tried with a remake? The Jungle Book is actually good. It's not great, and it has problems, but it also fixes the problems with the first one. Like, it has an actual 3-act structure, which I'm not going to say your film is bad if it doesn't have a 3-act structure. Heck, I still think Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is amazing, and that movie barely has a structure whatsoever. But it's nice to have one in a modern film. It also has amazing visuals and some real tension. My main problem with this film is Mowgli. He's just an annoying kid who's bad at acting. But this is the only remake I'd say is actually good. Pete's Dragon exists, I guess. It's fine. Never seen the original, so I can't say whether it's better or worse. But it has some charming and entertaining scenes, but it's just kind of bland. It's just fine. Beauty and the Beast is the death of Disney itself. I hate this film. It is so utterly bad. It completely lacks any personality and soul at all. And one thing they added was a teleporting book, which is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in Disney history. This movie is garbage. Now here are some not remakes. A Wrinkle in Time is so bad it changed my perspective on film itself. It is such an utter mess. I can't believe this script actually made it to the theater. Nothing works at all. Why am I even talking about this garbage? Christopher Robin is good. It is anything memorable, but it certainly understands these characters and puts them together in a very charming film. Nutcracker in the Four Realms was made from the depths of hell itself. It doesn't even try to have a personality. It is a soulless, boring piece of crap and possibly one of the worst Disney films ever made. Mary Poppins Returns isn't very good. It has charm, it has heart. It also goes nowhere. No character has an arc. The kids are annoying and has a really boring bank plot. It does have some good production and performances, but overall it doesn't really come together well. Dumbo is really bad, and while I am happy that the movie did add to the original and it did change some things, it didn't add or change anything for the better. It's all very predictable and bland. The acting is bad. The characters are dreadfully boring. It's just really boring, and it's a bad film. And I'm not quite sure what Aladdin was supposed to be. If they're trying to make a good film, then oh boy, they failed. This movie doesn't have a soul, personality, or anything that works at all. The characters are just forced. The visuals look fake. I don't even want to talk about it. Just watch DJ Wolf's Movie Sucks review it. Which now leads me to the newest remake, The Lion King, which is far and away the worst one yet. This movie is the bare minimum of effort that can be put into a film. Nobody tried to change a dang thing. This movie is just a longer and more soulless version of the original. And it seems a lot of people enjoyed the movie. I'm not going to say that the defenders of this movie are wrong, but the defenders of this movie are wrong. In fact, there is so much wrong with this film that it must be expressed in video format. So here are the reasons why The Lion King is the worst Disney live-action remake yet. And a minor spoiler warning for the 3 people who didn't watch the original. And no, I'm not ripping off of Ralph the Movie Maker. He didn't invent the word reasons. Reason number 1, the visuals. This might be a weird way to start off this really negative review, but the CGI in this movie is absolutely flawless. It looks 100% photorealistic all the time. The animals move like animals, and it looks perfect. That being said, the visuals here are awful. And it's not the animator's fault. Clearly Disney didn't realize that making this movie is a bad idea on its own because they can't convey the emotions of the original in live action. There is not an ounce of personality in this film. There is no emotion being expressed from these characters. Scar isn't menacing, he's just some lion. I guess Simba is still cute, but he doesn't have any emotion. It's seriously obvious how this movie looks terrible. You just can't make the original in live action. Why do you think the original is animation? It's to express personality. There is so much personality in the original. I know what these characters are thinking immediately when I look at them. And in this remake, this is Simba curious. This is Simba scared. While the original is a colorful and expressive masterpiece, this remake is the polar opposite. Why on earth did Disney think they could make this and it would work at all? Reason number 2, the voice acting. This is a weird one because these are awesome actors. James Earl Jones, Donald Glover, Beyonce, Seth Rogen. They're all great actors, but here, they don't even try. I like Donald Glover fine, but he doesn't fit this role at all, and neither does Beyonce. James Earl Jones isn't nearly as fun and intimidating as he is in the original. And Seth Rogen does fit Pumbaa, sure, but he isn't very funny. And then I guess some loser played Scar, I guess. And he isn't as bad as, like, Jafar in Aladdin 2019.
Bring me the lamp. Your life begins now.
But he is still really bad. And I'm not even going to bother to see who actually played him. Actually, let's see who did play him. Okay, right now I'm on the homepage of the movie reviewing website Letterbox. Sorry for the shaky cam, and I'm just going to search The Lion King and let's find out who actually played Scar. And look, it only... Oh, I'd searched Lion King. Now you can search it. Okay, here we go.
The king has returned. Yeah, right, it's garbage, because you ruined the entire movie. Okay. Cast. Here's cast. Oh, how am I supposed to know who played who? How the frick am I supposed to know? Chance the Rapper's in it? What the frick? Okay. How on earth am I supposed to know who played who? What on earth? Okay, let's try you. Maybe you. Yeah, you played him. Okay, Scar. Okay, he's in this movie. I don't know who he plays here. Seriously, he's in The Martian and 12 Years a Slave. Oh, he's in 2012, so he has been in garbage before. Oh my god, he's in Sherlock Gnomes. Okay, he'll be in Doctor Strange. He'll be in Maleficent 2, which looks awful, so I don't care. He's in Endgame, the 2009 version. Okay, I don't know if this guy has the best discography. He's also in 999, which I never watched. I didn't care. He's also in This Serenity. He's in Love Actually. Okay, he's got some decent movies. He's also in Children of Men. Frick, I didn't notice he was in Children of Men. Okay. He's been in some okay movies, I guess. But he's also been in 2012. And he's also Scar, and he's awful as Scar, so I don't care.
It's confusing why no one is good in this movie, because they're all actually good actors. Maybe Jon Favreau was, like, telling them not to show much emotion so that it would fit with the dead-eyed, emotionless animals. They're not even trying at all! Reason number 3, the directing. I noticed that a lot of people keep mentioning how Jon Favreau directed this movie in the reviews, but guys, Jon Favreau didn't direct this. Disney did. These movies are so controlled by Disney that they might as well not even have a director. Jon may have been the director of the voice cast, but he didn't direct the direction of the film. It's the exact same as the original. Jon didn't do anything wrong. He did fine.
Reason number 4, the music.
Alright, listen. The music in this movie isn't as bad as Aladdin because these people actually can sing. But here's the problem. There's so much less personality on the screen because they can't recreate these musical numbers on the screen because there's so much cartoonish in the original. So this time it's just really boring. And if you look at the songs by themselves, clearly Disney didn't re-record the background. They just used the exact same instrumental and background from the original. These actors are not bad at singing at all. They all sing well. They just aren't saving the laziness of everything else in the music. Reason number 5, stretching the runtime. So Disney thinks that they have to make this remake 2 hours rather than 1.5 because this is the edgy version. So how do they do this? By stretching the dialogue, the conversations, and the action scenes. And this fricks the pacing. Some scenes are really slow and others are way too fast. And it makes this film incredibly boring. And they also find the necessity to show how Simba's hair got to Rafiki to make him think Simba is alive. So it shows us this hair going through this long, drawn-out journey, and it is annoying. This movie just screws around all the time, and the pacing takes a hit. The original doesn't ever waste any time. It's always moving the plot forward, but this remake wants to be 2 hours, so it looks like they added things to the original, but it didn't. It's the exact same, but longer and more boring. But here is the final reason why I really, really, really hate this movie. And the final reason is obviously it's nostalgia. Why would Disney even try to make a good film? The original already did that. Why would we even make likable characters? The original already did that. This movie doesn't need to try. The original already did that. Did you know that one of the writers on this film worked for Catch Me If You Can, which is a cinematic masterpiece, so I don't know why he chose this project. For some reason, people will feel nostalgia and they'll automatically believe that it's good writing. This movie uses a lot of nostalgia. It mainly uses music. It plays the main Lion King theme. In scenarios where it wasn't in the original, and it is lazy. This movie doesn't even have to do anything. The original already did all the work for them, and people obviously fell for it. They didn't even try! In conclusion, this movie is a chore to get through. The more the film goes on, the more boring and painful, and just the worst it got. There is no effort put into this film at all. They don't even try to improve on the original. They don't try anything. This is the most useless and lazy film I've seen in years. And for once, I actually regret purchasing a ticket. And I didn't regret purchasing a ticket for Ugly Dolls. No one wanted this movie. No one thinks the original is dated. And it isn't. And neither is Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Hercules, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Little Mermaid, etc., etc., etc. There is no need for these remakes. The originals are perfectly fine. These originals will live on for decades, and these remakes will die in a couple years. And this new Lion King will look absolutely awful in just a couple years. Where did Disney go wrong? Where did they decide to stop putting effort in their films? They used to be the ones who would be imaginative. They were the ones who realized the point of the silver screen to be an escape. Now they just make carbon copies of their own work because they're so rich and successful that they don't even need to try. It makes me mad that the god of cinema now is Disney. They control cinema itself. And pretty soon, other studios will realize the success of making carbon copies of your old films. I'm sad to say this, but I can't wait to see for one of these remakes to bomb. And it looks like Rotten Tomatoes has turned on it, but fans haven't. Pretty soon, one of these remakes will lose money, and we'll hopefully see Disney realize that in order to stay successful, you have to actually try. So I'll leave you guys off with this. There are 3 remakes coming soon. Maleficent 2, Lady and the Tramp, and Mulan. I encourage you guys to not pay to see these movies. And in fact, even though I'm a critic, I really don't want to watch Mulan 2020. After seeing how awful this Lion King remake is, I do not want to see Mulan. And I try to see every movie that's out. Will I see Mulan? I don't know. But if you're in favor of making Disney try, then don't pay to see these godforsaken remakes.
Wow, that was a really bad movie. And that required like a day's worth of editing. I edited this video way faster than The Amazing Spider-Man 2 one. And now knowing that I can edit epic movie reviews this fast, they will be more common. I feel like this series is actually going to be my favorite series on the entire channel because it's the funnest, it's the least cringy. I get to use it's just the best, like it looks the best as a whole, and I actually can now make it more frequently. And while I can just have the other movie reviews as a side, so for everybody who wants to see me more often, can watch those. But if you want to see the really good videos, you gotta wait a month or two. So I'm not gonna make these as common. But I can make them regularly enough. Not like I'm going to make them whenever I want to make them. I'm not just going to make one every like week or so because I don't like to I don't like to like just like every week I have to make this one video. It's not I don't like doing schedules like that. I don't like to just repetition because that's why the podcast keeps not happening. And I'm just not doing the podcast because I don't feel like recording a podcast. And I don't know what to do on it. But I will make more epic movie reviews, certainly over the next year. There could be a Dark Phoenix one. That'll probably be the next one. There are a lot of really bad movies this year, so this year's just giving me potential for them. And I could also review a good movie. I've thought of that idea, like doing like Endgame or something, just to say why I love it, except for if I love a movie, everybody else probably loves the movie. But more epic movie reviews are coming. It's not a done series. And I said in my Music Experiment 2 video, don't expect anything soon. But 2 months later, I made another one. And I'll probably make another one, not in that soon, but I'll make it whenever I feel like it. It occupies a lot of time. Like, it takes a while, so that's good.
Look, even Miss Anthropony agrees with me, and this is his comment on my video.